welcome back to the Deliberate Exchange. My name is Chelsea. I'm so glad that you're tuning in here. Okay, I this particular episode is stemming from a reel that I just saw that it really drove me crazy, and I have tried to post before about seeing problematic reels that perpetuate drinking culture, and I was kind of called out on it. Um, by somebody asking me to soften my language and that I was shaming people. And I talked about that in another episode, like this kind of like gaslighting that was happening. But this is something a little bit different. But it did stop me in my tracks. Not because it was necessarily like so shocking, but because it's so normal that we don't even question it anymore. And that's exactly the problem. So this reel says someone is going to invite you to dry January, and it is very important that you do not listen to them. That's definitely like a trending reel right now. Like insert, something that you've done, and somebody's going to tell you not to, and it's important that you don't listen to them. And this particular reel was paired with a woman carrying 2 glasses of champagne, really like fun girl energy. And at first glance, it looked harmless and definitely relatable. But I had a visceral reaction to it, not because of the person who posted it, but because this is the kind of messaging that is problematic. So I want to break that down, not in an effort to shame or to judge anybody, but to name the societal pattern that keeps a lot of women stuck, a lot of women stressed, and absolutely disconnected from themselves. So we live in a culture where wine o'clock is a brand, that women are expected to drink to be fun, that humor is used to mass coping, alcohol is treated like self-care, and the equation stress plus burnout plus wine equals normal. And half of the health and wellness space talks about gut health, sleep, hormones, weight loss, stress management, and the biggest culprit, which is typically alcohol, is literally glamorized all over social media. And most women don't even recognize this pattern because it's everywhere. It's like air, and you don't notice it until someone points it out. I know that there's a few people in my life who they know the journey that I've been on. They know what I do for a living, and even they start to notice how pervasive the drinking culture is. And so when somebody casually says, don't listen to anyone inviting you to dry January, that's not a joke. It is reinforcing the exact belief that keeps women from questioning a habit that might not actually be serving them. And so let's talk about healthy drinking, all right? Yes, there was a time when doctors said, a glass of red wine is good for heart health. And some people will say, well, like some women have a healthy relationship with alcohol. And I'm like, okay, fine. Define healthy. Because I actually don't know too many women with a healthy relationship with alcohol. Because healthy does not mean I can hold my life together while drinking. I don't drink that much. I'm still productive. Or even I don't have a problem. If we're actually talking about health, which for so many people is like the number one importance next to time, Canada's latest alcohol guidance says that there is truly no safe amount. And even low or occasional drinking increases cancer risk and impacts stress, sleep, hormones, and overall well-being. Like it's literally proven. So yeah, there are women who can take it or leave it. Again, I don't know very many of those. But healthy, that is a very different conversation and one that social media conveniently avoids unless like you happen to be within the sober space. Meanwhile, here's what's actually going on. Women's binge drinking has increased over 80% in the last decade. 70% of women say they drink to cope with stress and not because they actually enjoy it. And so many of us are trying to sleep better, to lose weight, to regulate their nervous system, to feel clear, to get healthier, while consuming messaging and alcohol that encourages behaviors working against them. So, like, this isn't about the real, it is about what the real represents. Like, a belief that if you question your drinking, you're no fun. If, like, you're too serious, you're not like the cool girls. And maybe that's a high school wound that I'm carrying here, but I actually don't give a fuck because I think that the message that it perpetuates is actually far deeper and far more damaging, because this is how women stay stuck. This is how they stay in unhealthy cycles that are absolutely normalized. And this is how coping becomes a lifestyle instead of something we move through. And I want to be very clear here. This is not about judging anyone's choices. This is not about calling out the person who posted the reel. It's not even about policing fun or making people feel shame. This is about naming the cultural conditioning that tells women not to listen to themselves when they're overwhelmed or burnt out or quietly wondering if alcohol is actually helping as much as they pretend it is. We get fed so many subtle messages. Loosen up. Have fun. It's fine. Everyone drinks. Don't be weird. Can't you just have one? You're not that kind of drinker. Fuck, it drives me crazy. And all of that noise makes it harder for you to hear your own intuition. If you have ever found yourself questioning your relationship with alcohol, even for a moment, or wondering why it feels so fucking hard to make progress in other areas of your health, I want you to hear this very clearly. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not defective or weak or dramatic or overthinking it. But there is a lot wrong with the messages that you're being fed. Messages that glamorize a substance that literally continues and perpetuates the dysregulation of your nervous system. Messages that pressure you to fit in. Like, you become the weird one because you're not drinking. I encounter that all of the time. That I'm the odd one out and I make people feel weird because I say I'm not drinking. Messages that normalize coping instead of healing. Messages that position drinking as fun and sophisticated and feminine and effortless. Like, I wish you could see me right now. I'm fired up about this. But it all hides the cost. You're not imagining that conflict. You're swimming in it. And so, no, this isn't a crusade against champagne or cocktails, but it is a call to awareness. A reminder that you are allowed to question your drinking without being labeled as boring or dramatic or no fun. You are allowed to choose a different relationship with alcohol or no relationship at all. You're allowed to want clarity, calm, sleep, energy, peace without explaining yourself. And if something in your body has been whispering, maybe I should look at this, you're not alone, and I encourage you not to disregard that. I disregarded that for too long, and I didn't realize how good my life could get once I removed this one thing that was absolutely damaging my health, mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically. But like, there's nothing wrong with you. There's a lot wrong, though, with the culture you've been conditioned by. And that's what I wanted to say. I really want, like, I saw this, I was fired up about it. I thought, okay, I'm going to push the other podcast episodes and get this out immediately, especially as we go into a busy season where alcohol is everywhere, even more so. It's given in gifts, and it's at every party, at every work event. And part of my mission is to make sure that women especially understand that there's a different way of doing things, that you don't need alcohol to be successful or fun or confident. Is actually the antithesis to that. And if you want authenticity, for me, quitting drinking was the fire starter for all of it. So if this episode has resonated, if you're nodding your head, if you've seen those reels, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out, send me an email, I'll link everything below. If you are looking to change your relationship with alcohol, if you have maybe had a couple dry Januaries or sober Octobers, if you have been in the stop-start cycle of quitting alcohol, I can help. I have The Deliberate Way, Freedom from Alcohol. I have the 100 Women Project. My goal is to help 100 women get and stay alcohol free in 2026. And so if you are curious about a nervous system informed, breath led 6-month program to help you quit drinking, check out the show notes, reach out to me. This program is for you. So, with all that being said, breathe it in, be deliberate, and please be good to yourself.